When the bomb threat came in, 400 children at Jefferson Elementary were being evacuated in panic. While police waited for the EOD team to arrive, school cook David Thompson calmly removed his gloves and walked toward the device. The same hands that had prepared meals for children for 15 years had once disarmed thousands of bombs in Iraq. At 8:30 a.m., everything had started normally in Jefferson Elementary's kitchen. David Thompson, a 45-year-old man of medium build with brown hair, began his daily meal preparations as he had every morning. As he chopped tomatoes with his knife, he listened to the sounds of children echoing from the hallways. These sounds made him happy every morning. They were his reason for working. David had been working at Jefferson Elementary for 15 years. The children knew him as Uncle David. Teachers respected him, and Principal James Wilson relied completely on his dependability. No one knew that the skill he showed while preparing meals, his perfect timing, and his calmness under pressure didn't come solely from cooking experience. On the kitchen walls hung pictures drawn by children, notes saying, "Thank you, Uncle David," smiling faces drawn while praising the pizza and hamburgers he made. But on David's desk sat another photograph, a young man in military uniform, looking at the camera with serious eyes. This photo was very old, and most people wouldn't even notice it. As children began entering their classrooms, David continued his preparations for lunch. Today's menu featured chicken pasta, one of the children's favorite meals. He prepared each portion with the same care, thinking about every child's nutritional needs. Mrs. Anderson's son Jake was allergic to milk. Little Sophie couldn't have gluten. David kept it all in mind. At 9:45 a.m., School Secretary Helen's voice echoed from the speakers. "All teachers, please implement emergency protocols. Immediately evacuate the building with your children. This is not a drill." David set down his knife. In his 15 years of experience, he had never heard such an announcement. There was real panic in the tone of the voice over the speaker. Looking out the kitchen window, he saw police cars approaching the school. The sound of sirens was getting closer. Footsteps echoed in the hallways. Children and teachers were heading to exit doors in an orderly but hurried manner. David followed them, but there was unease inside him. The level of panic shown in such emergencies was not normal. Outside, Principal Wilson was talking with police officers. When David approached, he could hear part of the conversation. "An anonymous tip came in," the police officer was saying. "They say there's a bomb inside the school. The EOD team will be here in 20 minutes. David's heart raced. A bomb threat. He automatically scanned his surroundings. Were the children at a safe distance? Was all personnel outside? But another part, a much deeper part, was asking different questions. If there really was a bomb, where could it be? What type of explosive? How did the triggering mechanism work? "Mr. Thompson," Principal Wilson approached him. "The children are at a safe distance, but they're worried. Could you help calm them down?" David nodded, but his attention was elsewhere. 20 minutes was too long for the EOD team to arrive. If the bomb was timed, if the person who called it in had contacted police too late. "Principal Wilson?" David asked carefully. "Did the caller say where the bomb was located?" Wilson looked worried. "They said in the cafeteria, exactly in the area where you work." David's blood ran cold. The cafeteria, the place where he had worked every day for 15 years. The area where he knew every corner, every cabinet, every piece of equipment. If there was a bomb there, and he hadn't noticed it. "Principal Wilson, I know that area very well. Maybe I could help the police. Check if there's anything abnormal." "No, David, it's too dangerous. We'll wait for the EOD team." But David had already switched to a different mode. The keys in his mind were turning. His training and experience from 15 years ago were resurfacing. Bomb threats, types of explosives, security protocols, all the information came flooding back. 10 minutes passed. The EOD team still hadn't arrived. David looked at the worried faces of the children. Little Sarah was crying. Tommy was looking for his mother in fear. These children knew him as trustworthy Uncle David. He needed to protect them. He made a decision. "Principal Wilson?" David approached the police. "I need to go inside and do a quick check. No one knows that kitchen better than I do." "Absolutely not," a police officer intervened. "Civilians cannot enter the danger zone." "I'm not a civilian," David said in a calm voice. "I mean, I wasn't before." Everyone around him turned to look at him. Uncle David, whom they had known for 15 years, was suddenly speaking differently, had a different posture. "What do you mean?" Wilson asked. David took a deep breath. The time had come to reveal the identity he had hidden for 15 years. Army Explosive Ordnance Disposal, 82nd Airborne Division, 3 tours in Iraq. Master Sergeant David Thompson, bomb disposal expert. Silence fell. Everyone was looking at him with different eyes now. "How many bombs have you disarmed?" the police officer asked.
"Too many to count. IEDs, car bombs, improvised explosives, every type." David paused. "And if there really is a bomb in that cafeteria right now, we can't wait for the EOD team to arrive, because these children's lives are at stake." Principal Wilson couldn't believe it. "David, were you really a bomb expert?" "Yes, I was. And if you'll let me, I still am." The police officer took his radio, spoke with his superiors. After a brief conversation, he turned to David. "Okay, but according to protocol, an officer will be with you. You'll stay in constant radio contact." David nodded and began walking toward the school. His steps were confident now. The experience and training he had suppressed for 15 years was resurfacing. When he entered the cafeteria, he methodically scanned everything. Unusual cables, unfamiliar bags, unusual shapes. He checked tables, chairs, counters. Finally, he found it. Under the serving counter, a metal box. On top of it was a digital timer. 8:47, 8:46, 8:45. "Bomb located," David said into his radio. "Digital timer, 8 minutes, 45 seconds remaining." "Get out," the police officer shouted. "EOD team will be there in 10 minutes. David examined the box. A familiar design. He had seen it dozens of times in Iraq. Simple but effective. "There isn't 10 minutes, he said in a calm voice. "This bomb will explode in 8 minutes, and when it explodes, this school will be gone." Everyone outside who heard began to panic, but David was completely calm. His hands weren't shaking, his heart was beating normally. This was natural for him. "What are you doing?" came a voice from the radio. "I'm doing my job," David replied. He opened the side panel of the bomb, a design that looked complex but was actually standard. Red wire, blue wire, yellow wire. Timer circuit, triggering system. 7:23, 7:22, 7:21. David's mind was working automatically. Which wire to cut first? How to bypass the triggering system? He had done this thousands of times. In his tool bag was a small screwdriver from the old days. He always carried it, thinking it brought good luck. 5:17, 5:16, 5:15. "David, get out!" Principal Wilson's voice came from the radio. "Don't risk your life." David smiled. "These children are my life, Principal Wilson. I'm here to protect them." He turned the screwdriver in the screw next to the yellow wire, opening the circuit board. He could see the timer's connection point now. 3:45, 3:44, 3:43. He held his breath and carefully disconnected the main power cable. The timer stopped. It read 03:42 and was no longer counting down. "Bomb disarmed," David said into his radio. "I repeat, bomb is safe." Cheers erupted outside. Children were applauding. Teachers were crying. Police officers were congratulating each other. David sat on his knees next to the bomb, noticing his hands were shaking. The adrenaline effect was beginning to wear off now. When the EOD team arrived, they found David examining the bomb. "How did you do it?" the team leader asked. "Old habits," David replied. "Never forgotten." That day, everything changed at Jefferson Elementary. Uncle David was no longer just the man who cooked food. He was the hero who saved the children's lives. But for David, the most important thing was the smiles on the children's faces the next morning. They were safe, and that was enough for him. Uncle David, little Sarah had asked him, "Are you really a superhero?" David stroked her hair. "No, sweetheart. I'm just someone who cares about you." But what they learned that day was this. Sometimes the greatest heroes hide in the most unexpected places. And sometimes Hands that prepare meals can also be hands that save lives. If you enjoyed this inspiring story of hidden talent and second chances, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and become part of our Hidden Truth Stories community. We share powerful stories proving that ordinary people possess extraordinary abilities. Where are you watching from today? Drop a comment below and let us know what city or country you're from. We love hearing from our amazing viewers around the world. Have you ever discovered that someone you knew had incredible hidden talents or background? Share your own stories of unexpected heroes in the comments below. Remember to like this video if it inspired you and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that true heroism lives in the heart. Until next time, keep believing in the power of ordinary people to do extraordinary things. The end.